Well, Scott, we've known each other for a long time, but not real well. But you've been involved with RMVR for a long time.
92 is when we
92?
moved back to Colorado.
The whole family, your dad and everything, or what?
Yeah, well, actually, we moved back to Colorado in 88. He did not run for the first 3 or 4 years. He was still trying to build his business back up. My dad started running in 92, and I took driver's school in 95.
Oh, really? All right. So you got into it because of your dad racing. And your dad's a bit of a Porscheophile. Is that a correct statement?
A bit.
And you are a bit of a Porscheophile, but you've also raced a Formula V.
And I've got a BMW 1600, and I've got go-karts.
Oh, God. It just goes on and on.
I'm an adrenaline junkie more than I am anything else.
Well, it's a wonderful hobby. It's an addictive hobby. Most hobbies are, it's just that cars and particularly racing is addictive for sure. And that's why we love it, I guess. I don't know.
To me, so I'm not drawn to autocross.
Right.
I'm not drawn to time trials.
Right.
I'm drawn to the wheel, and it's the added adrenaline of being next to somebody.
Right.
And then once in managing it, it's really the act of managing the adrenaline.
People don't understand racing isn't bravado.
No.
It's so mental.
Correct.
So when you get done with a session, you're maybe exhausted a little bit. You're mentally exhausted.
Correct. And that, to me, managing the adrenaline and being able to think
clearly
and maybe more clearly than those around you, and then solve the problem of how do I get around or how do I keep this person behind me. That and figuring out the past 3 turns before to set it up, that mental challenge is ultimately what it makes me come back. I can't get away from that. Because you're solving a different problem every time you're on the track.
Right, right. Interesting, because most people don't realize that, how mental the process is, not just how brave you are going into turn one.
It's not about brave.
If it's about brave, you're in the wrong business. Cool. So you got in because of your dad. Changing the subject a little bit, you've had an involvement with Morgan Adams Foundation that goes beyond just showing up for the race weekend. Tell me a little bit about that.
My dad was first asked to be involved with the Concours, and Joan will laugh about this. She invited him to be involved in the Concours car committee because he had a car she wanted to show. So he stayed on the car committee for about 15 years.
Really? So he was in from the get-go?
He was in on the second year.
The Concours is now what, 17?
22.
Oh, 22 years.
So he was in on the second year. And then as he aged out of the Concours, Joan then kind of started coming to me more and more and asked me to fill in as a second generation. And then my involvement became part of the Concours. And that was about the time that I got more involved with the race.
Mm-hmm.
And the race, I have a lot of emotional connection to because my dad was the president of RMVR and was the one that advocated for Morgan Adams to be the charity. So Joan's actually...
We went through a selection process.
We did.
Because frankly, we'd had some charities that we'd raised money for that we weren't happy with the outcomes. And mercifully, we got hooked up with Morgan Adams. And your dad was involved in that whole choice process.
He was kind of the one that made the introduction. And it fit for both sides in a way that it never had in the charity race before.
For sure.
Morgan Adams' involvement has made the charity race better in so many ways. It's a cool symbiotic relationship.
Well, I've told people before, we've had charities, they say, well, send us a check. But Morgan Adams and Joan and the whole Morgan Adams group are in there pitching hard to help us make it happen, making things happen. And they're at heart kind of car people. So it's a really nice relationship.
So people don't know this very much, or not many people know it. Joan's taken the RMVR driver's school twice, and once in a street car and once in my racing BMW.
Really? I don't think I even knew.
Yeah, wow. She's done it twice. She keeps trying to get back into this Porsche and the BMW and whatever else I've got. And so we'll get her on the track again.
Well, like you said, it's a symbiotic relationship, and partly because of her latent car gene rearing its head, and she loves everything that racing and cars is all about. The Morgan Adams Concours has become such an incredible event. The cars and airplanes and motorcycles, and the whole affair is just stunning.
To me, I'm involved in both weekends, the Concours and the race against kids' cancer. And I enjoy the race against kids cancer more.
You don't have to work as hard.
Well, no, to me, it's far more interactive. I'm talking to the ambassadors and the ambassadors' families. I'm helping ambassadors get in and out of race cars during the lunch rides. And that I take a lot more from that than in anything else I do with the Concours.
Well, you're doing stuff behind the scenes of the Concours, and that's leg work and hard work and necessary work, but not quite as rewarding. Legs give out, or your knee, as you indicated.
My knee gives out.
Great. Well, so you'll be racing the V at the.
I'm going to race the Porsche.
Oh, you are.
This will be the first race for the Porsche in, I think, 11 years.
Why is that? What happened there? This wasn't ready, or?
I blew the motor.
Oh, well, that'll do it.
And it took several years to get that rebuilt. And then I've been racing the V because it's so much fun and it's a lot cheaper. But we finally got the Porsche done and ready this spring. And so.
This was your dad's car?
This was my dad's car.
Cool. Did he race this Porsche before coming to RMVR in '88, you said?
No, we built this car in the mid-90s while we were at RMVR. He started racing in '78 with a Mercedes going.
Oh, really?
And raced it once, and then bought his first race car, Porsche, and raced that for years and years.
Wow.
And this was the culmination.
So he raced a Gullwing at one
He
point?
did.
Oh, my gosh. How many people can say that? Not many.
I wish I could.
In the olden days, at some of the early steamboat races, we had 2 Gullwings.
I know them well.
Showing up and racing each two. That's just amazing. We can't even fathom it these days.
Russ and Renee were the 2 Gullwing owners.
Yeah,
they were good friends.
Yeah.
Neat guys.
Well, that's one of the downsides to the vintage racing these days. Some of these cars have become so valuable, the owners really are not anxious to take them out and flog them, even though that's what they were originally intended for. But such is life, really.
That's part of the reason I have the V. I can rebuild an engine in the V for $2,000. It'll cost me a lot more for the Porsche.
Right. Well, we have people that have raced production cars, in particular Porsche, and come over to Formula cars because the cost differential is just massive. And besides, these are real race cars, and that's just a production car. Oh,
easy.
That was cruel.
I might kick
that
you.
was cruel, wasn't it?
I might kick you.
Oh, me. Have you been able to get to tracks elsewhere in the country?
Yeah, I have. So I've raced most of the tracks in California. Sears Point, I still call it Sears Point.
Right.
Laguna a bunch. Thunder Hill a bunch. I've raced Coda in Austin. Barber Motorsports.
Oh, you've been to Barber.
Barber is a fantastic track.
And the facility at Barber is just amazing.
So probably about a dozen tracks around the country.
I found racing at other tracks wasn't so much to say, oh, I've raced at Laguna Seca or whatever. It was because you could come home and watch a TV race.
Yeah.
Identify with what's going on the track. You can't do it unless you've been on the track.
Yeah.
It just changes your whole perspective of watching races on TV.
It does. And for me, it's as much about solving the riddle of that track.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, none of us are professional drivers, and we're trying to figure out how to do our best. And, 1 foot left or right on the entry to a turn could make a difference for the next 2 or 3 turns.
Sure.
Trying to figure that out, I enjoy that challenge.
The pros can do it in 3 laps.
3 laps.
We need 3 or 4 years of repeated on the track to finally figure it out.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like we said, it's all part of that mental process of racing that most people who don't race can't appreciate how intensive that is, how difficult it is. But it is the challenge. Yeah. If you had of any car, any race car, what you'd like to put your fanny in and race, what would it be?
So I love this question because I have always raced small cars, and I'm a small car person even though I'm not small. I've always wanted to race a 60s Corvette Stingray.
Really?
I don't know what it is. The beautiful lines. It's a beautiful car.
Well, you ought to be able to engineer that.
Oh, I could figure that out, I'm sure. But that's always been on my dream list.
Really? It's on your bucket list, sort of.
Yeah.
Any racetracks on the bucket list?
Oh, Watkins Glen.
Yeah.
For sure, Watkins Glen.
Yeah. There again, once you go there, then you can watch them on TV and know exactly what's going on. And until you do, you just don't get the flavor for it. particularly with elevation changes, which, as you know, High Plains Raceway has some
There's a
very
lot.
nice elevation change, making it great for the driver. Not so good for the spectators because they can't see over the hill and dale. But watching things on TV don't give you the sense of elevation like for them to.
No,
but at least you know where you are on the track and the corners and all that stuff.
Exactly, that's true.
Yeah, funny how TV flattens it out.
I was at Laguna Seca 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And being there in person and then seeing it in a picture is two different things.
Yeah, the corkscrew is
impressive.
Elevation change, I think they say it's a 50-story drop from the top of that corner down to the bottom, like a 50-story building, or no, not 50-story, 5-story.
No, it's more than 5 stories.
Yeah.
You would drop 5 stories in about 100 yards.
Yeah.
It's a big drop. You're
a skier.
Yeah.
It always reminds me of sort of turning off the top of a cornice.
Yeah.
Turning off of a top of a cornice, and you're weightless for a little while, and then you come in and you set your edges as you. It's exactly what it feels like to me.
Yeah.
Laguna Seca. I hope it survives. In such an area where its existence is kind of a miracle. Monterey and all that goes on there.
I think it's in pretty good hands now. Over the last couple of years, they've put a new group together, and it's under new stewardship.
It's always tumultuous.
Yeah,
for sure.
I hope it does survive, though.
We need to encourage people that are watching this video to come out to the race against Kids Cancer later in September, and not only watch the racing, but featured drivers such as your or any of the drivers out there. Feel free to come out and find them in the paddock, shoot the breeze with them. Drivers are always wanting to talk about their cars. Yeah, and they will not be irritated at any question. They love talking about racing in their cars. So come out and get one-on-one with cars and drivers out there. That's as much fun as watching the racing.
And as a driver of that event, I love getting kids in my car.
Yeah.
Adults in my car. I don't like.
Right.
Most people have never sat in a race car.
That's right.
And they get in the car and then you hand them the steering wheel. It's a very different feeling. You buckle them in and they don't realize that. And so to me, that's kind of one of the cool parts about vintage racing is we want people to come out and interact and talk with us and experience it and learn.
We're delighted to let people sit in the cars and see what it feels like.
And then go for rides.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of rides, one of the main features of the Race Against Cancer and one of the main fundraising features is at lunch on both Saturday and Sunday. You can, for a donation, get ride around the track at speed. I think it's a 3-lap proposition.
It is.
And get a feeling for what it's really like to be on a racetrack in a performance car. It's called Ticket to Ride, available during the lunch hour on both Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah.
You've played a role in that for a lot of years.
I have. I've helped coordinate it now for at least 5 years. And it is an absolute blast to talk to people about the different levels of cars that we have, different types of cars. We'll go anywhere from small bore race cars that are part of the race to supercars.
Exotic
Porsche
supercars.
GT3 RS. We'll have at least one. We'll have sometimes a McLaren, sometimes a Ferrari. We never quite know what we're going to get until the last couple weeks.
High performance modern street cars.
We had a couple of years ago, we had a 60s McLaren Can-Am car, which I would have paid to go around the track in that. That would have been awesome, but I was working. Some pretty cool experiences for people that have never been on the track just to get out, and people that have always dreamed of being in a certain car.
Right.
There's an assortment of cars, anywhere from really great handling Lotus Elises and Exiges that aren't necessarily high power cars, but they're really good handling cars, to Corvettes, Daytona Coupe, Recreation, that are just thunderous.
Yeah.
And visceral, and you can feel it in the chest. It's a really cool experience depending on what it is that you want.
Right. So if you come out to the track for the weekend, think about buying a ticket to ride and getting the ride of your life. It'll be the ride. If you haven't experienced it, it'll be the ride of your life.
It will.
They won't scare you. They always have an agreement with the driver. If you're scared, you do this, and he slows down. If you're having fun, you do this, and there you go.
Yeah.
You're in good shape. But what surprises people is how quickly the cars brake and slow down.
Yeah.
They're just not used to that sort of braking energy in a street car because you just don't do it.
Yep.
A street car, if you do it that much, you're usually headed for an accident. But in a race car, you're just going from high speed, slowing it down enough to get around the corner. But the way you can bring it down from 150 miles per hour to 40 is stunning.
It's stunning.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a cool experience. The cornering G-forces, the sound. It's a really cool experience to be on the track if you've never been on the track, or to experience a different car that you've never been on the track in.
Right.
So
we would encourage people to not only come out and spectate, sign up for a ticket to ride and see what it's all about.
Come say hello to me.
And with any luck at all, they'll get hooked on the experience.
Yep.
And start shopping for a race car and come race with us.
That would be awesome.
One aspect of the vintage racing is we talk about the vintage spirit, and people may not be aware. We don't go out and bang wheels. Contact is verboten.
Yep.
Sometimes it happens out of a racing, but it's not to be done, and certainly not intentionally. And we race for the fun of racing. And whether you're racing at the front of the pack, mid pack, or back pack, you've always got somebody to race with. And then there's the camaraderie afterwards. You know, it's just a whole different atmosphere from a lot of different racing venues.
Yeah, it is. It's I tell people this all the time. My favorite race that I was ever in was in California. I was in a Porsche similar to this, and there was a 1930s Alfa Romeo in my run group, and he was faster in the straight line, but not as fast in the corners, and I couldn't get past him. And so for the most of the race, I just was on his tail, watching him go through the corners, crabbing through the corners
until you
sideways.
Figured out a way.
It was awesome. And we were probably 15th and 16th or 18th and 19th. Right. I have no idea where we finished that race.
Right.
But it's still to this day the most fun I've ever had in a race car was just following him and watching him maneuver this amazing car.
A totally different car.
Totally different kind of car.
Going through the corners and everything. I have one of those too. A pass was made by me at Second Creek Raceway now decades ago. That was 3 laps in the making and figuring out.
Yep.
And I finally figured out a way, well, I can lay back here, get a run, and get him. And I got it done. And it was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's the best feeling. And I have that feeling all the time. The faster Formula V and the slower Formula Ford have that dynamic.
Yes.
And
even though the cars are relatively equal.
Yeah. And so when we're on the track together, which we aren't all the time, right? We drive different run groups normally. That's always a fun one for me because there's always one of the Fords is about my speed, but they get their lap time in a very different way than I do.
It's always fun to catch up and get around a car that ostensibly is in a faster class than yours.
Oh, yeah.
And that's like, yes.
Oh, yeah. So in this car, the best thing I can pass in this car is a 911.
Of course.
And I passed a lot of 911s in that car.
Yeah, that must be a humbling experience.
I love that.
Right.
So, yeah.
Cool. Well, hopefully you'll get to Watkins Glen someday.
Oh, I will.
Yeah. VIR is another one that I haven't been to. I've been there to look at it and spectate, not even a race, but be there. But, well, maybe since the big tree came down, maybe it's not so glamorous, you know. But it's a great looking track. Lots of elevation change.
It is.
Kind of an old school track.
Yep.
Because Lord only knows Virginia International started racing. And then it was fallow for a couple
the original
decades.
track dates back, I believe, into the early 60s.
Yeah, at least.
And then it was fallow for about 20 or 25 years.
Something like that. And then they brought it back in fine style. It's
a
nice facility now. Yeah. Well, this has been fun. I mean, you got a lot of bad habits.
I do.
Looking around here, motorcycles and skiing, and you said go-karts. I don't see the go-karts around.
Oh, they're at the mechanic.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I have issues.
The need for speed.
I do.
The need for speed. It's a wonderful thing.
Yep.
Scott, thanks. It's been nice talking to you.
Thank you for coming over.
All right.
All right.
Cheers.